I'm Merely Caruso. It's Tuesday, February 3rd. Today, progress meets protection.
If we want opportunity that endures, we have to protect the living systems that make this place worth coming to.
How the province is aiming to protect the environment as plans to dramatically expand the port of Churchill ramp up. Also today, why the government says it's seizing control of a personal care home in Winnipeg. Plus, knowing is half the battle. The new way to help you keep track of sidewalk snow clearing in your area. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Premier Wapkanu is trying to strike a balance between his ambitions to significantly expand economic activity through the Port of Churchill while also protecting the environment. And today, he made an announcement he hopes will do just that. CTV's John Hendricks is standing by live in studio to explain. So, John, what did we learn today?
Merely Canoe says that his government will spend $250,000 to explore the creation of a national marine conservation area in western Hudson Bay. Environmental group Oceans North is also taking part in the initiative with a $1 million contribution.
So if we want opportunity that endures, we have to protect the living systems that make this place worth coming to, worth studying, and especially worth calling home.
Christopher Dubicki with Oceans North says the western Hudson's Bay is a key area for a variety of marine species. For example, he said a protected area reaching 50 miles from shore would safeguard about 95% of the local beluga whale population. The funding from his organization, along with money from the province, would be used to conduct research on the area and collect feedback from tourism operators, First Nation communities, industry leaders, and Manitobans at large. Now, the region may one day be home to a pipeline and terminal, which the Premier has raised as a possibility to boost international trade. He was asked if those plans square with these conservation efforts.
So instead of just trying to build up some massive export terminal and then wait for environmentalists or land users, water users to highlight the downsides years in the future, we're saying let's have that conversation now. Let's figure out how can we make growing the economy work at the same time that we build a safe, clean, and healthy environment for the future.
If approved, the National Marine Conservation Area would join 5 existing ones across the country, including in Lake Superior.
John, what are the timelines for this? Do we know when it'll be completed or when the conservation area may be established?
Not exactly, Marilee. Environment and Climate Change Minister Mike Moy said in similar reviews that they've taken up to a year, but he noted that the timeline may shift depending on what they hear from stakeholders. It's also worth noting that the designation would ultimately need to come from the federal government.
All right, thanks for this, John. Details about the events leading up to a fatal police shooting were put into focus on the second day of an inquest into the death of 16-year-old Aisha Hudson. Hudson was killed in 2020 following a police pursuit in response to a liquor store robbery by a group of teens. An agreed statement of facts was read in court this morning. It determined Aisha was driving a stolen Jeep when some of her passengers robbed a liquor store. One of them also threatened staff before the group took off. A store employee reported the theft to police and described the suspects as Indigenous youth between the ages of 15 and 18. The first person to testify was Winnipeg Police Sergeant Dustin Drager, one of the officers who attempted to apprehend the group. He told the inquest liquor store thefts at the time were heightened and sometimes resulted in violence against employees and bystanders. The Canoe government has stepped in to take control of the South Winnipeg Personal Care Home. Golden Door Geriatric Center is a 78-bed personal care home. In March, the government says it provided a closure notice and the owners stopped accepting new admissions. As a result, 25 beds were sitting vacant at the end of January. The Canoe government claims to have tried to negotiate with the owners to acquire the facility but could not come to an agreement. So the government decided to expropriate the center. The province has appointed an interim management team to run the facility and restore the home to full operating capacity. CTV's Jeff Keel will have more on why the province made this move and reaction to it coming up at 6 o'clock. A major fire on Salter Street last night forced emergency crews to shut down the road near Mountain Avenue. The call came into the fire department around 4:15 p.m. A 2.5-story duplex in the 400 block of Salter was on fire. And when crews arrived, smoke was already pouring out of the building. Firefighters went inside the house to launch an interior attack. While inside, they managed to rescue a cat from the home. No one was injured. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Manitoba Hydro says it needs to spend about $3.4 billion in the next 10 years to keep up with rising energy demand. That plan is laid out in the Crown Corporation's new Integrated Resources Plan. The report says Hydro needs to increase its electricity capacity by nearly 30% in the next 9 years. It plans to do that by building new wind farms by 2035 and gas-burning turbines in Brandon by 2030 to address peak demand in winter. We have some sad news to share with you now. Legendary former CTV Winnipeg sportscaster Peter Young has died.
When you want to know about sports, you need to know about Peter Young.
Young started working part-time at CKY, as we were known back then. He started in 1974, and after just 6 weeks on the job, he became the sports director. In the many, many years that followed, Young would cement his place in the Winnipeg sports scene, doing things such as play-by-play for the Winnipeg Jets, the Gold Eyes, and much more. This past November, Young was inducted into the Manitoba Sports Writers and Sportscasters Association Media Roll of Honor. Peter Young died yesterday afternoon with his family by his side after a long battle with cancer. A pool in the Niagara Park neighborhood may soon bear the name of a longtime public servant. St. Boniface councillor Matt Allard has put forward a motion to rename Bonnie Vittel Pool. If successful, the facility would be renamed Dan Vandel Bonnie Vittel Pool in honor of the longtime area councillor and MP. Vandel dedicated more than 26 years to public service, including 5 terms as a councillor for St. Boniface and more than a decade representing the area in the House of Commons. Vandel announced in 2024 he would not seek re-election. The motion was approved by the Community Services Committee today. However, Councillor Emma Durand-Wood voted in opposition as Allard wants to waive the Public Services review of the name change. The motion will be discussed at the next Executive Policy Committee meeting in 2 weeks' time. Well, if you don't need to stick your head out the window the next time you're wondering if the plows are coming. That's because the city has just updated its online snow clearing map. The online tool now updates about every 15 minutes, showing which sidewalks and paths are being cleared and which ones are already done. The city says staff used to enter the information manually, usually after a 12-hour shift. Now the site uses automatic vehicle location technology to show almost real-time progress. All right, you don't have to peek your head out the window tonight either to find out what the weather is, because Colleen Brady is here to give us all the details. What are you tracking, Colleen?
Well, listen, when you are looking for those plows, though, look for plows like Slosh Morrissey and all those great named snow plows that just got those great names, including Greg, too. That's a new snow plow name. That was a lot of fun. Tonight, a little bit of light snow has finally arrived in Winnipeg. We've been waiting all day long for it. There's not much to it. It's not even really picking up on the radar, but it's falling out at the airport. It's drifting around a little bit, too. You can see these winds sort of coming up through the Red River Valley and picking up a little speed here. I'll have more details on that. And when we're in for a warm-up, it's coming pretty soon. But first, the CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution in Winnipeg right now with that light snow falling and drifting. It's minus 13 degrees with the wind chill. It feels like minus 20, courtesy of those south winds at 14 kilometers an hour. The pressure's dropping. The humidity is 82%. Out in traffic on this Tuesday afternoon, busy in both directions along Donald Street. One traffic note, this is out on Henderson at Hespeler. There's a stall blocking the northbound median lane on Henderson.
Still to come, feeling prideful.
You can come together, be yourself, and share who you are.
Which southern Manitoba city is gearing up to host its first Pride event? The answer after the break.
Get Winnipeg's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
BMO is being dinged $4 billion by the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. The agency says the bank was charging clients monthly fees that should have been waived. Over 100,000 customers were affected between 2010 and 2024. BMO's already issued more than $3 million in refunds. The watchdog says the bank received more than 500 customer complaints about the fees, but was negligent in detecting the error. BMO says it holds itself to the highest standards of conduct. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.34. West Texas Intermediate is up over $1 to 63.21. Western Canadian Select is down over $3 to 47 flat. And the TSX gained 204 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Market Watch is brought to you by Manitoba Blue Cross. Group health plans for any size business.
Economic uncertainty and trade disruptions are proving to be major concerns for Manitoba businesses. That's according to the Manitoba Chamber of Commerce's 2025 Business Outlook Survey, which was released today. It found 80% of respondents had some level of concern about trade disruptions, including nearly 30% who are very concerned. However, it isn't the only issue facing Manitoba businesses. 3 in 5 say the biggest barrier to growth right now is the cost of doing business, followed by labor availability and workforce retention. Looking to the future, a majority of those polled say eliminating interprovincial trade barriers should be the government's top priority to reduce uncertainty. The survey by Leger of 157 Manitoba business leaders was conducted online between November 17th and December 17th of last year. MPs in the House of Commons have voted unanimously to fast-track the Liberals' GST relief bill.
See it back in the House on Wednesday so we can provide real relief expeditiously for families. Now, if you work here, you know that that's lightning speed.
It was the Conservatives who put forward the motion to fast-track the bill. It's aimed at putting more money in the pockets of Canadians to help with groceries. The Parliamentary Budget Office estimates it will cost more than $12 billion over 6 years. The bill is expected to pass the House tomorrow before heading to the Senate. Winkler is gearing up to host its first ever Pride later this year.
At the end of each Pride season, we send out a survey and ask, what would you like to see? And last year, number one was, please bring it to Winkler.
And that's what Pembina Valley Pride plans to do on June 13th. Planning is underway to host the event in Winkler, which is expected to include speakers, a market, rainbow church services, and more. Organizers say having Pride in smaller areas allows people to feel supported and accepted without having to leave their home community.
We want them to know that they're not alone, that you can come together, be yourself, and share who you are.
Pembina Valley Pride expects around 200 to 300 people to attend. It hosted its first ever parade in 2019 in Morden. Since then, it's also held events in Altona and Carmen. Get ready to kickstart your heart. We will tell you when Motley Crue is coming to town next in Spotlight.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting American rock legends.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and we are kick-starting Spotlight today with some concert news about a legendary rock band coming to the city.
Yeah, we are. Motley Crue will headline the second annual Rockin' Thunder at Princess Auto Stadium. Got a little ahead of myself there, Marilee. It's exciting news. July 4th, the show, that's when it will happen. It will also feature 3 Days Grace, Hailstrom, and J.J. Wild. It wraps a live music weekend that kicks off Friday, July 3rd with Country Thunder, headlined by Kane Brown. Tickets for Rockin' Thunder go on sale Friday through Ticketmaster.
It is turning into a pop culture phenomenon, and the craze is being felt here in Winnipeg. You know what I'm talking about, Crave's new TV show.
Yeah, if you've been under a rock, you might not have heard of it. Otherwise, yes. The heated rivalry TV show has sparked an uptick in requests for the book series.
The Canada-Russia final showcasing the two most talked about prospects in the world. Canada's Shane Hollander.
Shane Hollander, I wanted to introduce myself. Okay.
The city's libraries have 20 physical copies. Those have been checked out over 300 times since the start of the year, with a 140 name wait on the wait list. The ebook is up to 290 hold requests, and the audiobook is topping 150 names.
A book can be a few years old, and then all of a sudden an announcement for a movie or TV series comes out, and there's usually an uptick in holds.
The show is adapted from the second book in the Game Changer series by Nova Scotia author Rachel Reed, released in 2024. Collections librarian Aileen Clear says there's also been recent jumps for the Hunger Games series and Hamnet.
And speaking of this popularity, SNL is about to get heated, you could say.
It sure is. Heated Rivalries' Connor Story has been confirmed as host on February 28th. SNL has already taken on Heated Rivalry with its Heated Wizardry sketch. Now they will welcome one of the show's co-stars. The musical guest will be Mumford & Sons.
Free Sundays at the WAG are sticking around.
The Art Gallery says the program is continuing for another 3 years through 2028. The Art Gallery offers free admission on the second Sunday of every month. It includes family-friendly activities like games, art making, tours, and performances. The WAG says more than 40,000 people have popped in on Free Sunday since the program's inception. The next Free Sunday is happening this weekend. The WAG is open from 11 to 5.
The Devil Wears Prada 2 is pretty much runway ready.
That's right. The first full-length trailer for the film already has more than 8 million views on YouTube.
Hello? Well, look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
Sorry. Who is this? Do you know her? Do I know her?
I'm Andy Sachs. Andrea.
She was one of the Emilys.
One of the what?
In it, Meryl Streep's Miranda Priestley is reunited with both Anne Hathaway's Andy and Emily Blunt's Emily. And of course, she doesn't recall ever meeting either of them. Stanley Tucci also returns as Miranda's right-hand man, Nigel. The Devil Wears Prada 2 will be in theaters May 1st.
A lot of people looking forward to that.
Me too.
Thanks, Colleen.
You're welcome. Get ready for your Tuesday primetime lineup. It starts with Will Tread at 7. High Potential comes next at 8. Catch The Big Bang Theory at 9. And Best Medicine wraps things up at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
CTV Primetime Lineup, brought to you by the Parkway Retirement Community. Welcome home.
A live look at Osborne Village down onto Osborne Street. Busy for folks heading southbound. The snow is falling. It's drifting. It's minus 13 degrees. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back with your Skywatch forecast, and temperatures not too bad out there tonight.
Not too bad, and they're going to be quite mild tomorrow. A bit of a trade-off. Won't be so sunny, but listen, we've had a very mild start to the year, followed by some very brutally cold conditions as we got further into January. We flipped the calendar. Now it's February. There's a little bit of light snow falling in Winnipeg. It's so light it's not even picking up on the radar. Out in Brandon, misty conditions reported there. After some snow that has been falling this afternoon in Thompson, mostly cloudy. In that city, you get a break for a few hours, Thompson, before much more snow is headed your way. And over in northwestern Ontario, mostly cloudy over in Kenora, where it is currently minus 12 degrees. Here in Winnipeg, it's minus 13. But yeah, you see these temperatures warmer the further west you go. Minus 6 in Portage. By the time you get to Brandon, minus 4, minus 2 in Melita. Dauphin, minus 5 in the north. Fairly mild conditions for this time of year. Minus 8 around Flin Flon in the Paw. Thompson, minus 11. Now, Churchill has seen temperatures falling throughout the day. It's minus 22 degrees, but when you factor in the wind, it feels like minus 36 there. Over in Lynn Lake, it feels like minus 21. That wind chill here in Winnipeg, the wind chill feels like minus 20. So we have that snow. It's falling now. It's light. It will be intermittent. It's drifting a bit in the winds, and you can see it's focused more in the southeast, a little bit more dotted across parts of the north as well. Maybe a little bit more you're seeing out in the southwest. But again, misty in Brandon. We'll see see snow turn to light flurries into this evening as it moves off into northwestern Ontario. The north clears for now, but paving the way for this guy, a much more organized snowfall. Some areas could see 5-10 centimeters. Areas up in the northwest corner could potentially see even more than that. Here's where things are sitting by tomorrow at noon. It will start to slump further off to the southeast. Outslide chance we might get grazed by it here in the Red River Valley, but it will push off into northwestern Ontario late tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, by mid-evening tomorrow, it will be pretty clear out in the southwest. We'll catch the clouds on the tail end here in the southeast, but maybe even a little bit of freezing rain too. You see picking up there on the southwestern flank of that snow as it passes on by. Overnight we go into Thursday, still fairly clear around the southwest. More light snow crossing northern regions with a little bit of mixing precipitation in there as well, again on that southwestern flank by late Thursday afternoon. For tonight for Winnipeg, Tuesday night down to -14. Light snow is falling now. Possibly see that continue. Winds out of the northwest at 20, gusting to 40 kilometers an hour overnight. Winds will pick up out of the south, even stronger tomorrow. Mainly cloudy, tapping into mild air, taking us up to -3, +3 on Thursday under a mix of sun and cloud. Cold front comes through, getting us back to -10 by Friday, mostly sunny, and then temperatures moderating by the weekend. But it will be a cloudy one, but hey, we'll take those temps. This was the early morning sunrise view from Gord's perspective here in Winnipeg. A lovely shot. And look at this cute little pine marten. There he is. That's out in Grandview. That photo is from Sheila. Send us your photos by email. How about that? Not to email, but the email address is winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, it's no secret actor Jon Hamm made the most of his time here in Winnipeg. He was spotted at Jets games, the Grey Cup, and at plenty of restaurants around the city. Turns out he also found time to check out the Winnipeg Art Gallery. WAG staff tell us Hamm popped in just before the holidays for a tour. Hamm told staff he often visits art galleries when he's visiting a new place. Hamm was especially taken aback by some of the Inuit carvings and expressed how he wanted to learn more about the land he was filming on. Hamm was joined by some of the crew from his upcoming TV series, American Hostage. Yeah, he really did make the most of his time here. It was all over the place.
That's really nice to see that, really take an active interest in the city he was living in for a little while.
Yes.
And really around southern Manitoba.
Yeah, lots of people
at Stonewall.
Got a chance to meet him on his outings. All right, that does it for us this hour. Don't go farther. We're back at 6 o'clock with much more local news. Hope to see you then.